Hello everybody! Once again, my YouTube doesn't want to process my super long streams that I do to Twitch, so you're gonna get a video from me instead, and I was preparing the background for when I am gonna be doing a marathon game stream of an itch.io bundle, and I decided to use one of my slides for photography, so whenever I'm doing intros at the moment, we don't really need to sit in front of pages of words. We can sit in lovely forest instead. But enough about that. Let's get to the meat of the video, which is the fact that they have really did Path of Caine some injustice in the new Sabbat book. They have released Sabbat the Black Hand demo, sort of thing. I suppose not too many people were signing up to get it without a demo, because I don't think that they have done this for other books, so maybe they were like, oh, we're gonna release the demo, people will read it, people will figure out whether to like it off the demo or not. And honestly, off the demo, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because it seems like the book is trying to get you to be able to play murder hobos. Or add murder hobos to your game. Its whole purpose is murdering. And this is not what the paths used to be, so just that level of change alone really doesn't sit well with me, and I spent quite a bit of today being mad at it, so I thought I'm just gonna speak my piece and get on with it. And yes, I do know that there is a homebrew that moves V20 Path of Enlightenment stuff over to V5. I have not read it yet, because I have been asked in the comments many times to read it. I'm not doing too well health-wise, and reading 44 pages and then having to compare it to previous stuff requires heck of a lot more brain cells than reading a single page and googling the rest of the information. In fact, I am running really low on energy, I am sleep deprived, and summer is just beginning, which means that I will likely go loopy at some point, because I am reacting super bad to the sun and to plant life. Oh cool, there is a giant... Is that a mosquito? I think that's a mosquito. I have a giant mosquito on my ceiling. That's not good. I'll figure out about what to do about that later. Sorry. The premise of the Path of Caine is to cultivate and refine the power inherent to the blood, so that individual vampires can realize their full potential in the zealous parlous of the path. Anything one can do to bring themselves closer to Caine is deiform, which is a tacit reverence for the act of diablerie. The blood is all to the notists, who rarely pass up the chance to partake in puissant vitae, whether of all profound resonance, potent generation, or some other stranger property. Indeed, followers of this path may become distracted by opportunities to lower their generation or bring greater potency to their blood. A desired emulation of the first vampire is what distinguishes the path from other Sabbat ideology. In the parables of Cain, the Dark Father has mastered the beast not to deny it, but in understanding that this curse was the eternal conflict between his lower and higher selves. The beast is a servant not to be feared, but to be respected and even nourished. For the beast grows in might, so growth the strength of the master required to direct it, as desired. Compared to the old description of Path of Caine, by the way, the heart of the Path of Caine lies in the exemplification of vampiric nature. The questions of existence, the limit of vampiric form, and the changes brought by the embrace all drive the nodists into endless speculation, debate, study, and research. Scholarship and historical insight are valuable, but the vampire must simultaneously develop spiritually and physically to explore the limits of his undead form. Diablerie serves more than a simple theft of power. It allows the practitioner to learn from the experiences of the undead, thereby developing greater understanding and even to transcend the antediluvians in the quest to understand Caine. Other vampires lose themselves in attempts to save lost humanity or find meaning to obscure philosophy. The path of Caine instead finds meaning in the fundamentals of vampirism. To the novice, Caine's life reveals the mystery of vampiric curse. By understanding the undead form, they transcend their mortal weaknesses. They prize any knowledge about vampiric condition by the writings and stories of the first vampire, formed the core of Nodist lore. As Caine was marked and cast out from mortal society, the Nodists believe that he exemplifies most keenly the differences between vampires and humans. Therefore, this path adherents cast aside their humanity as inadequate and useless, emulating Caine's exile and seeking new rules to govern their predatory selves. With almost theological fervor, the Nodists search for every scrap of information about the mythical past of the kindred. Nodists rarely engage in Sabbat politics, choosing instead to drive packs to acquire new information and new experiences. They also serve as priests who lead vampires to seek awareness and development of their undead condition. Those on this path lead by example, embracing the monstrous natures and striving to attune themselves to their differences from humans, then helping other vampires do the same. Nodists do not hesitate to share their insights so that all vampires have the opportunity to become closer to Caine. Conversely, however, they hoard dangerous secrets to prevent misuse. And boy oh boy, am I breathless today? I am so sorry about that. It's just... oh god, summer is really kicking my ass. So, anyway, just from the descriptions alone, on one side we have kind of like extreme scholars. I want to say, yes, they do allow diablerie. Yes, they do see this as a way of gaining information. But their primary focus is on finding books and knowledge about Caine. And they follow the Book of Nod. On the other hand, we have vampires obsessed with blood. You know, it especially is very visible in the ethics. Ethics in V5. Lower one's generation and concentrate the power of one's blood to become closer to Caine and exalt to the potency it yields. Partake of all blood, the better to understand the power contained in it, and to build wisdom from its nuances. Brook no failure from one's leaders. Be prepared to commit diablerie upon them if their shortcomings hold the pack back. As compared to ethics here, restrain yourself and never give in to the extremes. This version is an extreme in itself. Develop your willpower. Never give in to your beast. Learn as much as possible about the vampiric history and the first vampire. And these 4 points, completely gone from V5. Completely gone. And actually the bottom point of, if possible, leave the children of Seth alone and coexist with them is also completely gone. All of the V5s is based on these 2 points. Take the blood of those who are unworthy in order to come closer to Caine. This could be seen in brook no failure from one's leaders. Accept your condition and that you are no longer human. This is more of a throw away your humanity rather than be obsessed with blood. So, the new path of Caine for V5 is catered to murder hobos. Your whole focus is just to eat as many vampires as possible, which is... yes, blood carries information, but this is not the best way to, learn about your condition, because not every vampire will have useful information. Hence why they study books, and they study their own limits, and they seek knowledge, and they seek enlightenment, and they seek to share it, while the new version just seeks to eat the world. I was told to withhold judgment until we have the book in itself, but the preview does not bode well. This is free for everyone to download on the World of Darkness site. I can't link you exactly directly to the download page because you have to agree to get ads from Paradox, which is... Ugh, I hate spam mail, but my YouTube email is not the same email that I have under my real name, so I can sacrifice it to spam a little bit, but... Anyways, this... I don't like it. I don't like it. They have completely vilified the Sabbat, and see, this thing, this part of, you know, how they got to where they are sorta makes sense, but even then, it's... Sabbat are now not even like a third of a side, it's kind of big side. Instead, they're now just this tiny sect that's nearly devoid of even existing at all, which in correlation, the Sabbat itself holds little domains in conventional sense. Whether it was claimed in contested territories like the Anarchs or Camarilla, tonight Sabbat domains often have strange feeling absence of Cainites in them. Since so many obey the beckoning, domains of the Black Hand are often underpopulated, at least in terms of vampiric presence. This isn't always the case, however, and new domains emerge huge surges and mass embraces, as the frontline commanders of the Gehenna Crusade demand fresh conscripts to plunge into the battle with the antediluvians. It is again important to recognize the success of the Second Inquisition has had in curtailing Sabbat influence. Despite all of its embraces, the Sabbat appears to be a very small sect, owing largely to its high rate of final death. Among the massive Cainite casualties of the Gehenna War, the ruthless perception of the Second Inquisition, and the abhorrence other sects have for the Black Hand, the Sabbat enemies are many and its individual members' knights are numbered from the moment of their embrace. I don't like that portrayal because, realistically, Camarilla was supposed to get a lot of casualties by having all of their elders back in the way, and apparently Anarchs kind of torched their money, so they would have little money and no elders, and therefore their domains would be now run by Ancilla and neonates at most. And honestly, Sabbat neonates shouldn't be any worse than Camarilla neonates, and the Second Inquisition has hit them hard as well, at least if you like play visual novel games and shit. So it's like they wanted to erase the sect of its existence, and what's left of it, they wanted to turn into murder hobos, which... No. Why? Why? I don't have a lot of hope for V5 at the moment. I want to say that V6 might be better, but I have fairly pessimistic outlooks when it comes to developers sometimes. I end up thinking that things won't get better, that they will just get worse. I'm happy that we do have V20 though. I'm gonna say it like that. I'm happy that other editions did not go away. Because this is really making a mess of it all, and I just... Come on. Don't do this. Anyways, thank you for watching, especially my rambling in the middle about the mosquito on my ceiling, which is still there. And me taking pictures. Yeah, I'm not entirely sane. It's like 2 a.m. and I am chronically fatigued from lack of sleep because all of the sun just won't leave me alone. Sometimes I am absolutely certain that I maybe should be called a vampire myself, because while I don't burn in sunlight, I seem to have found my age-old enemy inside a planetary body, for it's making me produce adrenaline in insane amounts, therefore making me unable to sleep in summer. I don't understand. I legitimately do not understand what the heck's wrong with me, but I don't like it. So anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'm gonna see you in my other videos, especially when YouTube agrees to start processing my 7-hour streams again. Till then, toodaloo.